everybody, I'm Chef Julie Andrews, and this is Dr. Elizabeth Felton, a neurologist at UW Health, and we are in the Learning Kitchen at the American Center making some ketogenic-friendly recipes.
Yes, so the ketogenic diet is a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet that we use for patients with epilepsy. The type I usually use in my clinic is the modified Atkins diet, and so we typically limit net carbohydrates to 10 to 20 grams per day.
So we have to be pretty careful, right?
Yes.
We are gonna make a cauliflower mac and cheese today. Okay. So instead of the mac, we're using cauliflower. It's a good low carb option, right? So we'll start with the pork. So we do have a little protein in here too. You could easily use bacon if you wanted to. But the ground pork, just the regular ground pork that doesn't have any seasoning, is a little bit lower in carb than the bacon. So the bacon can certainly fit in, but this whole recipe actually comes out to be pretty low in net carbs. So we have to let this saute for about 5 minutes before we add any onions or garlic.
Okay.
So now that the pork is cooked about halfway, we can add the onion. So this is about a cup of diced onion. An onion doesn't have a lot of carbs, but again, we still want to be careful in counting everything. And so we'll just let this cook together until the pork is all browned and the onion is soft. So now that the pork and the onions are browned and soft, we can add our cauliflower. So this is about 6 cups and we want them just really small, little bite-sized pieces, kind of like a noodle would be if you were making mac and cheese.
And so this amount of cauliflower has about 34 grams of carbohydrate, but we can subtract the carbohydrates from fiber, and so it's about 18 net grams. And so that's very low for that amount. If you were using pasta, it would be significantly more than that.
So this is just minced garlic that's been peeled, a couple cloves. Can't go wrong with garlic.
No.
That's for sure. And so now the cauliflower will mostly cook in the oven, so we're just getting it a tiny bit soft here. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to this portion, and then we'll add some more to the sauce. So let's grab our pan here. And so this is already greased, and this is a 9x9. So I'm gonna try to not make a mess and pour all of our goodies in here.
It smells really good.
It does. I love the pork and the onions together. It's gonna be really good. Now, I'm gonna get my pan back, and I'm just gonna make a sauce. And so now, when you typically make a cheese sauce, you would make a roux, so you would use flour, but we don't need to do that today. We're gonna do it away without using flour. And so we're gonna do some heavy cream, which is thicker than milk, and also, you know, obviously higher fat content.
And less carbohydrates.
Yes.
So it's perfect.
Good point. And then some butter, so that's just 2 tablespoons, and then we have some shredded cheese. So all we're gonna do is just mix this together until it's nice and melted, and it's gonna be thick enough that we didn't need to thicken it with anything else.
Awesome. And shredding your own cheese is really helpful for lowering the carbohydrates also. If you get the pre-shredded cheese, often there's a starch in there that adds a little bit of carbohydrate, and so you wanna try to reduce that wherever you can.
All right, so we're just looking for the butter to be completely melted. And I'm gonna add in that little bit of salt and pepper here. Oh my gosh, that looks really good.
And that's so neat that you're able to do it without flour.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's pour all this cheesy goodness over our cauliflower here. And I wanna make sure we get every last bit of that. All right, so we just kind of want to stir it around a little bit so that every little bit of cauliflower has some cheese on it. Now, my favorite part is the topping. So we have some more cheese. We do live in Wisconsin, so we have to do the cheese thing.
We need cheese, yes.
So we just put a little bit on the top. And again, this is, like you said, we shredded this ourselves. And then our fun little topping that we have here, these are pork rinds. So they're just all crushed up, and these are the original.
And so the original ones do not have any carbohydrate, and so that's great for using as a breadcrumb or using as a crunchy snack in place of a chip, something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this goes in the oven 425 for about 10 minutes, just until it's nice and bubbly. All right, so it's out of the oven. You can see that the top is getting a little bit crispy. There's some brown spots. That's perfect. It's gonna be really delicious. Well, thanks for joining me in the kitchen today to make cauliflower mac and cheese.
Thanks for having me.